Trigonometry is a branch of mathematics. It deals with triangles. Specifically, it explores the relationships between the angles and sides of triangles. Trigonometry might sound intimidating, but it's really about understanding the proportions within triangles. These proportions remain constant no matter the size of the triangle. This concept makes trigonometry incredibly useful in many fields. We use trigonometry in everything from construction and engineering to music and video games. Trigonometry is a powerful tool. It helps us measure things that are difficult to measure directly. Think about the height of a mountain or the distance across a river. Trigonometry can help us find these measurements. Before we dive into triangles, let's talk about angles. We can measure angles in degrees. You probably know that a circle has 360 degrees. We can also measure angles in radians. Radians are a bit different. They are based on the radius of a circle. Imagine wrapping the radius of a circle around its circumference. The angle formed by that arc is 1 radian. A full circle is equal to 2 pi radians. Both degrees and radians are useful for measuring angles. Understanding both will help you in trigonometry. Now, let's talk about triangles. Trigonometry focuses on right triangles. A right triangle has one angle that measures 90 degrees. We call this a right angle. The other two angles are acute angles. They are less than 90 degrees. The sides of a right triangle have special names. Their longest side is opposite the right angle. We call this side the hypotenuse. The other two sides are called legs. We name them based on their relationship to an acute angle. The side opposite the angle is the opposite side. The side next to the angle is the adjacent side. Understanding these parts of a right triangle is important. The heart of trigonometry lies in three main ratios: sine, cosine, and tangent. We often shorten these to sin, cos, and tan. These ratios describe the relationships between the sides and angles of a right triangle. Sine or sin is the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse. Cosine or cos is the ratio of the adjacent side to the hypotenuse. Tangent or tan is the ratio of the opposite side to the adjacent side. These ratios are constant for a given angle. We can use them to find the missing sides or angles of a right triangle. All we need to know is the measure of one acute angle and the length of one side. Section 5. Trigonometry in action, a real-world example. Let's imagine you're trying to measure the height of a tall tree. You can use trigonometry to do this. First, measure your distance from the base of the tree. Then use a protractor to measure the angle of elevation from your eye to the top of the tree. Now you have a right triangle. The height of the tree is the opposite side. Your distance from the tree is the adjacent side. You know the angle of elevation and the adjacent side. You can use the tangent ratio. Tangent equals opposite over adjacent to find the height of the tree. Section 6. Applications of trigonometry, from physics to the stars. Trigonometry is not just about triangles. It has far-reaching applications in many fields. In physics, we use trigonometry to study motion, forces, and waves. For example, we can use trigonometry to calculate the trajectory of a projectile or the force acting on an object on an inclined plane. In engineering, engineers use trigonometry to design buildings, bridges, and other structures. They use it to calculate angles, distances, and forces to ensure structural integrity. And in astronomy, astronomers use trigonometry to measure the distances to stars and planets. They also use it to calculate the sizes and orbits of celestial objects. These are just a few examples. Section 7. Solving problems with trigonometry. The case of the tall building. Let's try another problem. Imagine you're standing 100 meters away from a tall building. You measure the angle of elevation to the top of the building to be 60 degrees. What is the height of the building? We can use the tangent ratio again. We know the adjacent side, which is 100 meters, and the angle, which is 60 degrees. We want to find the opposite side, which is the height of the building. First, identify the knowns and unknowns. Adjacent side equals 100 meters angle equals 60 degrees opposite side. Or height equals what? Next, choose the correct trigonometric ratio. We know the adjacent side and want to find the opposite side, so we'll use the tangent ratio. Tangent of the angle equals opposite over adjacent. Then, plug in the values and solve for the unknown. tangent of 60 degrees equals opposite over 100 meters. So opposite equals 100 meters times tangent of 60 degrees. Therefore, the height of the building is approximately 173.2 meters. Section 8. Key takeaways. Trigonometry in your toolkit. Here are some key takeaways about trigonometry. Trigonometry is the study of relationships between angles and sides in triangles. It plays a crucial role in various fields, from physics and engineering to astronomy and navigation. Understanding trigonometric ratios like sine, cosine, and tangent helps solve real-world problems involving distances, heights, and angles. Remember these concepts as you continue your studies. Practice applying them to different scenarios. Section 9. Conclusion: embracing the power of trigonometry. Trigonometry might seem like a challenging subject at first, but with practice and understanding you can master its principles. Remember, trigonometry is not just about memorizing formulas, it's about understanding the relationships between angles and sides in triangles. This understanding unlocks a whole world of problem-solving possibilities. So, embrace the power of trigonometry and see where it takes you.